I'm looking at a new court case out of Colorado, federal court, that demonstrates two things that don't get the employer off the hook for a hostile environment. One of them is a good reason to have terminated the individual who was allegedly being harassed. The second is the industry that you're in. So let me tell you just a little bit more about the facts. They're pretty straightforward. This is actually a male plaintiff who did not fit sort of the gender stereotypes. Was regularly called sister, called by a woman's name. There was testimony, including from a manager, that other people were not treated this way. This was in a construction setting. So that's sort of part one. Part two is the individual, this now plaintiff, made comments to people that suggested that he might shoot people at the work site. So that was investigated, the latter part. He was terminated. Pretty good reason for termination, if that is found to be true, of course. Filed a lawsuit claiming gender discrimination because of sex in his termination, as well as a hostile work environment. And of course, it's not the point of this video, the whole issue of male stereotypes, whether that's covered by Title VII or not, males not conforming to those, or females conforming to female stereotypes and norms, whether that's covered. And leave that aside for a minute here. The court dismissed on summary judgment, dismissed the termination claim, saying, look, this is the reason he was terminated, these comments that were investigated and found to be true. It wasn't because of sex. So that seems like the right result, but the court allowed the hostile environment claim to go forward because, saying before he was terminated, before the reason for that existed, there was a level of hostility in this individual's work environment that deserves to go forward past the summary judgment stage. So the fact that there was a good reason to terminate the now plaintiff does not get the employer off the hook for the hostile environment piece. The second piece that is significant is that the court said, listen, this is an unacceptable work environment, even in the construction industry, which is a good example of an industry where it's a more rough and tumble kind of environment, and certainly courts will acknowledge that there are differences in different workplaces, but there are limits to that. So if you're in a business that tends to be a work environment that may be a little more aggressive, there is more back and forth, does not mean that you have a pass from being attentive to the kinds of things we talk about in all these videos.